Well, we got a bunch of odds and ends we need to finish up on patina, so we're going to get into power steering, get that mounted up, and a bunch of other little things. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back. Well, we're going to do a bit of tidying up some loose ends on this car. We're going to get kicked off on getting the power steering pump mounted with the correct bracket. Make sure that's good. We got some wiring to go through. We've got nothing going to the dash, so we got to sort that out. More than likely it's the bulkhead connector, everything's corroded. So we'll have to clean up those, see if we can get some power into the dash. What else? 2 tires are flat, obviously. And a bunch of other little tiny things. Oh yeah, we need to put a gas pedal back in here, which means probably welding up some floor a little bit. But good news on the engine front. The carburetor that came off patina was pretty much junk. I'll show you that in a minute. So a good friend of mine, Rick at Rick's Radio Conversions, he had a 1920 Holly that he had sitting on a shelf that he took off of his 63 Dart Slant 6. And just said, here, dude, I can't get it to work. Take it. So took that carburetor, took the float bowl off of the one from patina, popped it on because the one that came off his was really bad. Tightened it up, put it on. Guess what? This thing runs great. Idle smooth. Finally got it to idle down. Check this out. We're going to do a cold start this morning. So let's do that. All right. Had to get my key. Battery. Got the ignition on in there. Couple pumps. Survey says. Cold start. Look at that. Huh? That's amazing. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm happy. That's awesome. Man, Slant 6, you just can't kill them. Alright, let me shut this down. I want to show you the float bowl that came off of my buddy Rick's carburetor, and then we're going to get it to the power steering pump. That's so sweet. So this is the carb that came off of patina, and really this is the valve body in here, the economizer housing. There's corrosion that goes inside all the passages, and I just couldn't get it cleaned up enough. I mean, the aluminum starts corroding. Not much you can do about it. Makes this carburetor, at least this part of the carburetor, junk. So if you got a good housing and a good one of these from 2 carburetors, you could probably make a good carb. But what I did have was a good straight float bowl from my buddy Rick's carburetor that he sent me. His float bowl was so warped that it would never seal. Let me take a look. Can you tell how it warps this way? I mean, the ears are all pushed down. They're not straight anymore. And what that does, it kind of concaves and distorts the whole float bowl. So then the corners are pushed up and the center is pushed down all the way across. And it'll never seal. And I think the problem is you tighten them up too much and it gets worse. I mean, take a look at that. It is just dipping down right in the middle here and there, just like pulled in. This float bowl will probably never ever seal again. So I took the one off patina's carb, put it on the carburetor my buddy gave me, and we're good to go. So power steering pump. You can tell that this is a pump and the bracket is for a V8 car, right? And this is the bracket for Slant 6. So this part has to mount to the engine down there where currently the negative battery terminal is bolted into one of those. And this part will then bolt here in place of the V8 bracket. So we're gonna take this off, put that on, put this piece on there. I gotta clean those holes out, make sure we got bolts, and then we'll get the power steering pump belt on and make sure we're not gonna spew fluid everywhere. I think I'm missing the pivot bolt for this slant 6 power steering mount. I got the pinch bolts and everything else is on, but there's a pivot kind of like for the alternator. I'm gonna see if I can't find one of those. Found it. All right, let's get the belt on and see what's gonna happen next. Maybe I'm cleaning up another mess on a trailer. Who knows? All right, we got the pump mounted in there. Found the pivot bolt. It's hanging out in another pile of bolts I had. The pressure line was turned around the other way. I loosened it up, turned it this way. It's got a bit of a loop. It is what it is for now. Like I said, I don't think this is the power steering pump and steering box out of this car. The return line was very, very long, so I trimmed that off. Took about that much off of it, and I routed it through the little bracket there. So I took the belt off the alternator, and I go to put the belt on for the pump, and I found just a little problem that we have to address. So going to my pile of parts, found one of these semi-adjustable spacers. So I'm going to take the fan off, put this on, and I think we'll still have plenty of clearance to the radiator and still clear the pulley. Okay, wait a minute. As I'm taking the fan off, I noticed something else a little bit more important. You probably noticed it just a moment ago. Where am I going to put the belt? This should be back here. What the holy heck is going on here? Does that pump need to go back further? I don't see how. Pretty sure I got that bracket on right. I have to change the crank pulley and the alternator pulley, the water pump pulley? No, because the alternator line's right up there. And it actually lines up here. Power steering pump's got to go there. All right, well, consulted a couple of subject matter experts, a couple of friends of mine, and they've taken a look at the photos I sent them. They think that I have the wrong bracket for the pump for the engine. It's possible. I mean, you saw how far that pulley sits out. It's like, no way, no way. But that's a slant 6 pump bracket, and that's a slant 6, or at least a 65, 66 pump. I mean, those pumps come on everything. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what year car that the steering box and the steering column came out of. Did some numbers. I've finally pulled the alternator bracket off, did some research to find out what year the engine is. It's a 72, that's where it's date stamped, and the casting number puts it at a 68 to 70 casting. So it's possible it's incorrect, but I mean, it could be the pulleys, crank pulley. Things are all wonky. So I did a little more research, ran the numbers. It's power steering delete. Yeah, I just took the whole pump out, lines, blocked off the ports on the steering box. That'll go in the trunk for now, and we'll just kind of roll with it. I mean, that's what we got for the numbers. That's the casting on the block. It shows it 68 to 70 from the research I could find. That's the stamp. HW225, the H puts it at a 72. I know that's like a 10,000 year date code for a Chrysler. I'm not sure. I didn't look that up. Anyway, we got more to do anyway. Let's get to the electrical. I want to clean up the bulkhead connector, see if we can't get some gauges reading. I want to see at least oil pressure. I'd like to get temperature as well. And see if we can't get a little more working inside. And then we'll tackle the gas pedal. Yeah. So this is the gas pedal that came out of the car, and this is the mount, and there's supposed to be ears on this so that this pin, which actually came out, lucky me. So I have the ability to maybe put a bracket or something on here, make it work, or I could take this pedal I have in stock and where the pin is completely missing and just maybe weld a crappy old hinge in there and tack this to the floor. I don't know. What do you guys think? This will work. I've got to lube it a little bit. It's a little stiff. And we may just do that for now. Put these parts in a box and do this. I like it. Alright, so I need to mark out a little bit of this area to figure out how much sheet metal I need to put into the car to make the gas pedal have a place to mount to. Yeah, hi. Well, we know we're... So I'm going to probe around a little bit here. See how far back we got to go, how far up we got to go. Okay. That's great. Spin out cable's right there. Okay, we got a dustpan, clean some stuff up. Okay, let me get a dustpan and clean some of this stuff up. And we got things cleaned up around it a little bit more, and wow, yeah, I wasn't really wanting to do a whole bunch of rust repair just to get a gas pedal in here, but it is what it is. I got a piece of sheet metal here. Yeah, we'll just glue it in place. No, I'm not going to glue it in place. That would be just crazy talk. But I do have to figure out how I'm going to do all this. Got this little kick out here. Bumps up. You know, the gas pedal mount goes like right here. Let me take a measurement from the side of the rocker all the way over to this point so I know how far over it's got to go, because I won't remember it once I get this in. I mean, the floor is here, it kicks up here. Just cut this out, knock this down, just put in a piece here for now, and just kind of bend this piece at one spot and tack it in place, at least on top, give it some strength up here. We can get a gas pedal in here, at least, you know, temporary. Yeah, I think we'll cut this out, kind of maybe hammer this down some, and we'll just put a bend in this and put that in. Well, that's not so bad. I actually had enough good metal on the floors to tack weld that patch into. And yeah, we just tack welded that old hinge gas pedal right to it. But we got a gas pedal now. Not my finest work by any means, but it's difficult working inside of a car with the seats in the way, the steering wheel, it on a trailer. But I'm okay with that. This is a temporary patch for right now. All right, so one of the things we want to do is we want to check and see if we can actually use the gas tank that's in the car. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. No idea what the condition is. So I'm going to blow some air through the line by the fuel pump back, and I'm going to put one of my little microphones right back by the fuel tank. See if we can hear anything coming out. We'll find out. And there's the sending unit, as you would expect. Man, this thing is just nasty. And no, you can't blow through it. This thing is just plug solid. The fact that I can blow through the fuel line amazes me. I don't even think I can salvage parts off of this to rebuild another one. This is just done. But I was able to blow air from the fuel pump back, and I blew some fluid out. It smells like old varnished gas. You see it's wet and it was dripping down, blowing it to the differential, and you know, not really so much there. I think whatever's left in the tank might be leaking out through rusty spots. But yeah, this tank is toast. Rusty toast. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's not really focusing in there. But yeah, that's a gas tank full of rust. So we're not going to be putting any fuel into this at all. No. And I'm not taking it out to clean it. This thing is just too much rust. Alright. Well, a little, I don't know what you want to say, done, I think, with patina. Now, I got the rear parking brakes functional. I had to back this off, right? You know, get everything tight, you know, slow it out again. But while I was under here doing that, I got a good look at this. Yeah. It's the front frame section where it meets the transmission cross member. And right over there is the torsion bar mount. So, yeah. disappointed. All right, well, that was pretty devastating to find that frame section like that. I was hoping to take this thing for a ride around the block at the end of this video. But with that frame like that, no, I'm not going to risk it. Yeah, it was going to be sketchy enough as it was, with only front brakes, barely functional parking brakes, and really unknown the entire transmission. But we got a lot sorted out on this car. I mean, I don't know, it just didn't work out how I had planned. But had a lot of fun doing this, right? Got that engine unstuck. Got a lot of stuff sorted out on the car. And it just, I mean, check this out. Fires right up. Cold start. Signals are working again. So, I think we're going to close the chapter on Project Patina here. A lot of fun. So, if I could get this car running, driving, and safely doing it, my intention was to find a way to get the car registered so I could, you know, get ownership of this, and then I could turn around and possibly sell it as a good project car for somebody. Because when I purchased it from the guy, he did not have any paperwork from the previous owner. He bought it as a parts car. So now I am going to pass it along as a parts car. Yeah, I just can't, in good conscience, tell somebody this is a great car to start a project on, not with a frame like that. But I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate you coming back and following me along on this journey. Smash that like button, and if you think we're doing some cool stuff here on the channel, please consider subscribing. I'll catch you next time.